Hey guys, how you doing? It's the Intuitive Investor from StockTwits. Man, what a great day it is. Today we're literally hours away from recreational marijuana being legalized in Canada. But what about that pop today? Oh, I love that pop. Wow, we've seen a complete $10 jump, which was just over 8% for Shopify. And so I wanted to see if I can go ahead and keep this video brief, under 5 minutes, hopefully that I can. So what's happened with Shopify? Well, Shopify has been flying completely under the radar. Everybody's been talking about all these other popular cannabis stocks, but nobody's talking about who's powering these websites. And you know who that is? You got it. Shopify. Investor Place just released another article about the money, everything that's happening behind the scenes. Shopify has been exclusively chosen by provinces in Canada like Ontario, British Columbia, Newfoundland, Labrador, Prince Edward Island. They are the exclusive e-commerce juggernaut behind their websites that will be handling their presence and their transactions. And that's the stock that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about. And what's kind of frustrating to me is that for all this news that's being talked about cannabis, Toby and all his people have been so quiet and tight-lipped about their involvement in cannabis for so many different quarters. And every quarter that comes by, I always wonder, are they going to say anything about cannabis? Are they going to say anything about cannabis? And they don't. So with just 1 week away almost, away from their earnings release on October 25th, guys, I'm begging you, please give us more information about just how involved you are so that the world can see just how not only do you operate in Canada and the States, but in hundreds of countries where you're providing e-commerce websites for entrepreneurs, both big and small, so that they can see, so that the world can see that who's running these platforms. And I think investors are wanting that information. Like for me, one of the questions that I'd like to ask and like to know is how many cannabis-related websites are they currently either providing services to or providing the platform to, but also the transactional side of it, the POS side of it. What's the number? That's something that I would want to know, because that would give me a better idea of just the reach that Shopify has in Canada and in other countries. So the information that I saw today on Investor Place also added that Shopify was up about 40% on the year, which is fantastic, despite that 2018 has not been a good year for Shopify in terms of reports. We have been consistently slammed by short reports, by people just complaining and saying that we're overvalued, and gosh, the list has just never stopped. And lo and behold, Shopify has reached that 170 range, if you can see the chart, on 3 different occasions. And all 3 times it's been rejected and it's gone down to 130. And this last time even dropped just underneath 129. And that made me nervous because I just didn't know what to expect or where it was going to go. And today we were rewarded with a nice 8% jump, $10 to be exact. So that was a blessing in disguise. One interesting thing, if you remember, I visited the Toronto office over the summer when I was visiting my brother, and I realized that there's all this news about cannabis that we aren't privy to. That is, those of us in the States. And the reason why we're not privy to it is because this is not happening in the States. This is happening in Canada. But you know how we can read a lot of this Canadian news? Is you go on Google or Yahoo and you just add a CA behind that. Not the com, the CA. And that will direct you to the Canadian version of Google or the Canadian version of Yahoo. And when you do that, look what pops up. All this information about Shopify and cannabis stocks, oh my gosh, the information is rich. So guys, we're literally hours away from legalization. I'm excited, are you? And so I'm hoping that tomorrow I wake up to a tremendous pop. And I hope that next week, on October 25th, not only do we meet and exceed our expectations, but please talk about the online presence. Please talk about Shopify's behind-the-scenes involvement on the transactional side and the platform side of all these cannabis websites, so that the world can know that Shopify is about to be the world's largest pot e-commerce king of cannabis. So, all right, guys, sleep well. I will see you tomorrow. Subscribe to my videos. And if you're on StockTwits, you got to add me, the Intuitive Investor.